Now for review of what's making the headlines in the papers this morning, let's bring in a RISE analyst, Dr. Constance Ikwoku. Good morning, Dr. Constance.
Good morning, Yolanda. How does it feel to be alone today?
Oh, it's pretty nice. I do well alone.
Okay. I hope Charles doesn't hear that.
No, I do miss them. I really do.
Yeah. It feels kind of empty today.
It does. It does.
But
it's a public holiday.
Away and then Charles now.
Yes, exactly.
Anyway, we'll manage. We'll manage. Good to see you.
Likewise.
Okay, to look at the papers with us today, we have Deputy Editor Blueprint newspaper, Mr. Samuel Odaudu. Hello there and welcome to the program. We'll begin with this day. In this day, Tinubu, Nigeria has secured over $2.2 billion for health sector reforms, inaugurates $300 million Afrexim Bank, founded medical center in Abuja, $75 million set aside as endowment fund for research. With the money secured, the president says the Nigeria Health Sector Renewal Initiative launched in 2023 aims to renovate 17,000 primary health centers, train 120,000 frontline health workers, and double national insurance coverage within 3 years. There are other policies as well that have led to local pharmaceutical production, according to this report, and expanded access to diagnostics. The African Medical Center of Excellence, developed by the African Export-Import Bank in partnership with King's College Hospital London, will serve as a leading center for advanced treatment, medical training, and research. I mean, when I was reading this story, I thought great stuff here. The Afrexim Bank must be commended for financing major projects across Africa in the past several years. It's been really active and stepping into this particular sector, the health sector, just shows its commitment on the continent. And of course, talking about the money that has been secured by the presidency, kudos. However, there's just so much that is needed in the health sector that it seems like it's never enough, given the neglect over the years, including so much work that needs to be done to make sure that medical professionals that have been trained are not exiting the country. Your take on this story, Samuel?
Yeah, thank you. It's a good news to have that kind of massive investment in the health sector. It is actually long overdue. We have had many years of neglect, and even if you go to our general hospitals today, and many of the public hospitals, they are not doing well. And we have been having this a cycle of brain drain. Medical personnel and other experts in the sector, they are going out, and we are losing manpower in droves. And so it is a very good opportunity to have this kind of investment in order to revamp the health sector across board. But again, it is equally important to highlight the fact that over the years we've had a lot of loans, we've had a lot of commitments internationally. We are yet to see some of those commitments come to fruition, and that is why we have a massive number of people going out for, as medical tourism. But in this case, it is a welcome development. We just hope that this money will be judiciously used, and all the people who are going to handle the implementation, they should be well monitored in order not to put this money and then we tag it as another kind of an elephant project.
Very good point there, Samuel, because it talks about training for 120,000 professionals. It also talks about the renovation for 17,000 primary health care centers. So this is just an announcement. We're hearing this for the first time. So we actually want over the next couple of months to see that these are implemented and it doesn't end at the point of announcement. Okay, let's go on to see the Punch newspaper. There, Trump's new bill may slash Nigeria's $21 billion remittance. Contained in the One Big Beautiful Bill is a 3.5% tax on money transfers by non-citizens, including green card holders and temporary visa recipients. And this tax applies to even the smallest of amounts. This could discourage formal remittance transactions and push senders towards unregulated formal channels. Nigerians in the US send billions home to support households, and this could change transfer behavior, this report says. This law does not apply to US citizens, but will certainly make a mark, for those that are green card holders and many other residents, won't it, Samuel?
Definitely it will. Well, the World Bank reported that $25 billion is being remitted to Nigeria from the diaspora. And this is a very huge factor in our economic calculations and planning. And of course, we all know that the Trump administration is focused on America first. It is also interesting to know that our own president also has a policy of Nigeria first. And it looks as if we are in the tax regime all round. But in this case, the president of America, he is doing all that he can to protect the interest of America. Definitely it will reduce the remittances of Nigeria diaspora to Nigeria. But in this case, what Nigeria needs to do, I suggest that we must find a way of ensuring that no matter the 3.5%, even if it is going to be 10%, whatever it takes, we must find a way to make sure that we don't lose out of the remittances, and we must find other creative means in order to make sure that we stand on a proper, in a proper place where we will not be affected in such a bad way. So for me, the President of America is trying to protect the United States economy and policies and the people. We just have to abide by it. It is also interesting to know that it's not only about this. There are so many of these kind of policies, American first, banning some countries. Thankfully, Nigeria is not among the list.
Yeah, Nigeria is not among, yeah.
And so in this case, I think the president of Chad recently reciprocated.
Yes.
That no visas should be given to any American citizen. So we will continue to see this kind of policies of the United States of America affecting many other countries. And then in the long run, we will see how it is going to end, whether it is it's going to end in the interest of the president of America or the American citizen and the economy, or vice versa. So let us cross our fingers and watch the development. I am sure more things will come up.
Yeah, definitely. It's about survival, so every country making decisions that are in the interest of their own citizens. Like you said, Nigeria should do that as well. Let's move on to New Telegraph. Chief of Army Staff backs early voting, says bill overdue. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, explained that this is a great opportunity for those who are unable to vote on election day. For example, men in uniform like him. There's also journalists and other people as well. He said that the Nigerian Army will support the passage of this bill. It's reported that nearly 2 million essential workers are disenfranchised during elections. I mean, that's a large number. I never seen that statistic before, but it seems like a great idea. We journalists as well, we don't vote during election day. However, it has to be secure, doesn't it? Because already we face challenges with elections and counting, and votes being when you do vote, to make sure that your vote counts. So if this happens, then it has to be foolproof, Yolanda, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And I think what you said is actually very true. I'd like to also express my surprise at the number. I had no idea 2 million is actually a very, very big number to overlook. And so backing that kind of a bill is definitely a positive thing. But as you say, the security aspect of it, being able to make sure that those votes are secured, and the voters as well. There have been a history of voters being threatened, of ballot boxes being destroyed. So there need to be measures to mitigate those kind of problems and issues that often come about with just ordinary citizens. What more when, you know, a smaller number of people are voting, maybe the intimidation could possibly be more. So definitely security concerns and considerations need to be high.
And Sandra, not apart from that, I know that there's also that bill on diaspora voting, because the diasporans, you know, also saying, you know, we are part of Nigeria, we contribute a huge sum of money in terms of remittance, so we're still Nigerian, we should be able to vote. So these are issues that are in front of the National Assembly while the electoral law changes are going on.
Please go on, please.
Yes, I find this bill very interesting. Like she said, 2 million voters is a very huge number. We can't disenfranchise that kind of number. But apart from the military and those providing essential services, in South Africa, for example, we have a special early voting, and it is in their law. It's not only for the security people and those providing essential services. Pregnant women, those who are physically challenged, and those who are maybe not feeling too well, and you have evidence to show that you are a registered voter. The law permits them. They are not disenfranchised. I am even suggesting that if this bill can be expanded, it should go beyond the security people. We should have more people, pregnant women and those who can be captured in this cycle. Let them be given opportunity to vote. And it is usually done like 2-3 days ahead of the date, the actual date for the election, in order to avoid overcrowding and the possibility of disenfranchising this set of people. So I suggest the bill can be expanded.
No, the indication is that if this bill passes, anybody can actually vote early. So it's not only for essential workers. It will be general. Anybody,
Yes.
if you want to vote, you know, ahead of the elections, you'll be free to do so. Okay, let's move on to Daily Independent. Only Tinubu can deliver Nigeria of our dreams, according to Wike. The FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, was delivering a lecture at Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, speaking on the theme, the Nigeria of our dreams. Wike agreed with the common assertion that we have a leadership problem, saying, and I quote, "Our leaders have in the main emerged through self-serving conspiracies that have little or nothing to do with national interest or development." He, however, said that President Tinubu has broken the cycle because he is proactive, is logical, and takes informed decisions. He said a lot of other things. Hopefully he included himself in the list of self-serving leaders, because what has been going on in Rivers State is something that a lot of people think should not happen in a sane country. But all these glowing tributes to the president, Samuel, what do you think about what Mr. Wike has said?
Well, if you are in the shoes of the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, I am sure you will say the same thing. And to be fair, what the FCT minister is doing in terms of the performance rating that we have, not what we have read, what we have seen and we have been seeing so far, and looking at the cordial relationship between him and the president, that has enabled him to implement some of these strategic infrastructure projects and what he has been doing, he should say so.
Agreed.
Because it is important that it is not just being giving money. It is not just about cash backing a project. Once the project is cash backed, we should see the project physically. We should see that the projects are delivered. And that is what we are seeing. So talking about the kind of leader that Nigeria needs and focusing on the president, so he is correct in that perspective, looking at him. Of course, when you read the statement, he mentioned a few things, talking about a leader who has a very sound character and then a leader who is resilient or who demonstrates resilience in the face of challenges, a leader who can take bold decisions and stand by it. So on that account, from the perspective of the FCT minister, you can give it to him. There is no dispute about that.
All right. Let's see Vanguard newspaper. Tinubu directs tolling of legacy roads in states, flags of Lekki Deep Sea Port Road. The newly inaugurated Lekki Deep Sea Port Road connects one of West Africa's most modern seaports or sea terminals with hinterland transport systems. The project is a public-private partnership. President Tinubu also spoke about commencement of key infrastructure across northern Nigeria. The president said that the infrastructure development in Nigeria today is not region-specific, but being implemented with national integration in mind. I don't know. I think some people may disagree with the president in terms of how the APC from day one. Some view the party as being selective in the way it has handled governance, the way it has handled politics, the way it has handled infrastructure projects across the country in favor of the regions that were in alliance with the APC to bring it to the mainstream or to make it a national party. But Samuel, your thoughts on this quickly?
Well, there are two issues here. One, that of the toll gate, and then the issue of the nationality of our polities or the governance system of the administration. Of course, any project that has to do with public-private partnership of this nature, it involves a lot of contractual terms. And it's a very huge project, multi-trillion naira project. So how is the country going to get the money back?
Tolling.
Yes, by tolling. And what we don't know right now is, since the road has not been completed, it's just in the first phase.
A section, yes.
Yes, so we are still going to be monitoring the development to know the procedure that is going to be used in a tolling, and then the outcome of this tolling. Of course, we've had toll gates before. And of course, there were criticisms about how the revenues were managed, and whether we collected these the revenues, the toll gate, and what we actually did with the money collected. That was in the past, but this time we are still going to watch out to see. By the time the road is done, we will see. National politics, well, it has been a cycle in national politics, that once you have somebody in position of power, definitely there is going to be a reflection of, okay, my brother, my sister, and my friend, and things like that.
Okay.
However, we must insist on something. No matter who you put in the position of power, we want to see results. So if the person is bringing our result, very good.
Okay, let's see it quickly. Daily Times. San urges FG to settle Nnamdi Kanu other agitators' cases through arbitration, and Mohammed Ndarani made this call at a press conference. He asked the president to consider alternative dispute resolution mechanisms like arbitration and conciliation. We also have the Guardian newspaper. FG to revoke approvals of reclaimed lands along road setbacks. And let's go to the international headlines. The Citizen newspaper. Meat crisis, a perfect storm. A combination of factors has led to a supply crisis in South Africa, and this could see the price of meat spike, according to major players in the industry. And then on to Daily Mail. Russia blames UK for drone attacks on jets. The attack destroyed as many as 40 Russian aircraft, and the Kremlin says this could lead to World War III. Yolanda, I don't know if you have any comment on this briefly. I know Trump has also said that it looks like there will be no signing of a peace deal between Ukraine and Russia.
Yes,
this?
it doesn't look like there's going to be one. And even if there is, it's not going to be any time soon. The war is definitely intensifying. And this accusation could further strain, you know, the diplomatic ties between Russia and the UK and just complicate everything more than it already is complicated. It's very hard to judge because I think there are a lot of factors that are going on that are not publicly spoken and publicly known. I remember Vladimir Zelensky a few days ago mentioning that if any stop is going to come to this war, it has to be between the leaders. It cannot be just diplomatic entities speaking on their behalf. It has to be the leaders speaking and making decisions together, and not the discussions that have been going on lately. And I believe that that's the way forward.
All right, the Times newspaper, Epstein jibe signals war with Trump. So the bad blood between these two is still going on. The row between President Donald Trump and Elon Musk descended into an all-out war of words as Musk accused Trump of appearing in the Epstein files. Jeffrey Epstein was a convicted sex offender whose high-profile associations include presidents, business moguls, royalty, etc. Now Trump says, and I quote, "Elon and I used to have a great relationship. I don't know if we will anymore." Elon Musk is certainly going dirty here, Yolanda.
Yes, this is a tremendously big accusation. The world knows all about Jeffrey Epstein. You know, before he took his life in 2019 or so, he was riddled with so many stories about sex trafficking, young children, young girls, teenage girls from about the age of 13, 14 to about 17. And so to be tangled up in that kind of an accusation, for your name to be inside of that. And you know, those records were sealed. Some of them were sealed because there were a lot.
Released, some have not been released.
Yes, because there were a lot of big names that were entangled in that. There's a lot of big names that came up, politicians, heads of state, and so it would be really messy for Donald Trump if that accusation came out to be true.
And now Steve Bannon, Trump's associate, says that
Elon
should be deported.
Yes, yes, he's calling for his deportation.
They have to make a decision when to deport him. Is it South Africa? Is it Canada? But anyway, it's just getting messier. And, you know, let's see finally the Daily Telegraph there. Reform civil war over burqa ban. Chairman Zaya Yusuf resigns after stating that it was dumb of the party's newest MP to ask the Prime Minister if he would ban the burqa. I'm afraid we'll have to leave it there, but Samuel Odaudu, Deputy Editor, Blueprint newspaper, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
And thank you very much, Dr. Constance, for taking us on the newspaper review this morning. That's all we have time for here on Daybreak. I'm Yolanda Robert. Please do keep it here on Arise News. The morning show is next. Goodbye.